Okay, move on to the passive immunity. Okay, passive immunity, the body, in passive immunity, the body does not produce its own antibodies. Antibodies are obtained from an external source, and passive immunity does not persist and can only give immediate, short-term, and temporary protection. So in this passive immunity, our body or the lymphocyte, okay, does not produce its own antibodies. Okay, so because we cannot produce our own antibodies, so we have to obtain the antibodies from external source. Okay, usually through injection lah. Okay, so passive immunity does not persist and can only give immediate, short-term, and temporary protection. So usually this passive immunity does not last longer lah in our body compared to the active immunity. So the first one, we have the natural passive immunity. So this immunity is acquired by a fetus when the mother's antibodies diffuse through the placenta into the blood flow of the fetus. So in this case, the fetus cannot produce its own antibody, so that's why it has to acquire the antibodies from mother. So the mother antibodies will diffuse through the placenta and help the fetus to fight the pathogens. Okay, and then antibodies also protect the baby for the first few months after birth through antibodies that are found in the mother's milk or colostrum when breastfeeding. So actually when the mothers breastfeed the baby, so it also will help to protect the baby from pathogens because inside the milk, okay, or colostrum, okay, have antibodies. Okay, antibodies that can help to protect the baby from the infection for the first few months. So later the baby can develop lah their own antibodies. Okay, so this is natural. So babies gain natural passive immunity from the mother's milk. Okay, so that's for natural. Then we go to the artificial passive immunity. So this immunity is acquired through an anti-serum injection or serum that contains specific antibodies to fight specific antigens. So we have to take injection to get the antibody because to inject the anti-serum lah. So inside the anti-serum contain specific antibodies to fight the specific antigen. So that means when we inject the anti-serum, so inside the anti-serum has antibody, so same lah like we inject the antibodies to our body. Okay, the anti-serum injection give immediate protection but only for a short period of time. So when you get the disease, for example, when you inject the anti-serum, so the anti-serum will give immediate protection, but usually for a short period of time only and not less longer in our body. So example of anti-serum are anti-tetanus, anti-rabies, and anti-serum for poisonous snake. Okay, so later we show what is anti-tetanus and anti-rabies. So how to get this anti-serum or that contain the antibody? So we have to take this tetanus toxoid suspension. So tetanus toxoid actually can cause the tetanus lah. Okay, can cause tetanus. Okay, can cause tetanus. So inject in a horse. Why inject in a horse? Because horse has the ability to produce antibody to fight this tetanus toxoid. So for us, we don't have the antibody. We have the natural antibody to fight the tetanus. Cannot. We don't have. But for a horse, inside its body, it has what ability to fight the tetanus by producing antibody. So the horse will produce antibody known as the anti-tetanus, okay, in the serum. Okay, so the first we inject this tetanus toxoid suspension that can cause tetanus to the horse. So the horse will produce antibody to fight the tetanus. So we take out the serum from the horse. Okay, take out the serum from the horse. Then the serum already contain the anti-tetanus, the antibody lah. So then we inject the serum into the individuals with high risk of tetanus. So we inject the anti-tetanus to this individual. So then the individual is protected from tetanus infection. That means when we inject the anti-tetanus uh, into the um, this individual. So the individual will get the antibody to protect him from the tetanus infection. So the antibody come from the serum of this host. So we get the antibody from the outside, from the external source, not produced by ourselves. We get it from the host because the host can produce the antibody for this tetanus. So when we inject to the when the serum will injected to the individual, so the individual will also get the antibody to fight the tetanus infection. So this is example lah. So you must remember the difference between the vaccine and anti-serum. Okay, anti-serum contain antibody. Okay, for vaccine actually it will stimulate production of antibody. Okay, so what is tetanus? Yeah, so this is the tetanus. Okay, the symptom of tetanus. So usually you can get tetanus when you step on the what rusting nails. Before this, when we step on rusting nail, we cause inflammation, right? Okay, inflammation. But the bacteria from the step on rusting nail also can cause tetanus. Okay, tetanus. So this is a symptom of tetanus. We can have fever, high blood pressure, muscle spasms. Muscle spasms mean contraction of muscle, painful. You will feel pain when the muscle contract, spasms. Okay, and then locked jaw. Locked jaw means our jaw here cannot move. Cannot move. Lock. And then sweating and also difficulty in swallowing. So this tetanus, although actually can cause death if not treated. So that's why we have to take lah this anti-tetanus injection. Usually in form 3. I think form 3 you have already take this tetanus injection. Okay, this one caused by the bacteria also lah for this tetanus. Okay, and then we have the rabies. This one rabies. Rabies is a disease caused by a virus, typically from a bite of an animal infected with the virus. So the virus itself attacks the central nervous system, including spinal cord and brain. So if you have dog, if you have cat, okay, so when the dog bite you, you have to take the injection lah, anti-serum for anti-rabies, to make sure you are not infected with the virus. Okay, so because the virus will attack the central nervous system, including spinal cord and brain. So usually individual that get the disease usually will die lah. Okay, so that's why we have to take the anti-rabies, and so that we can get the antibody to fight the virus. Okay, and then the last one we have the anti-serum for poisonous snake. This one when we've been bitten by the snake. So usually doctor will give the anti-serum for poisonous snake to help us to recover from the poisonous snake lah. Poisonous snake, so that we can recover lah. Okay. So this one all for the anti-serum in the artificial passive immunity. This one question quite popular lah. Usually we'll ask you about the difference between this and this. Okay, so we proceed with the comparison. The comparison between artificial active immunity and artificial passive immunity. Okay, artificial So similarities protects the body from infectious diseases, involve interaction between antibodies and antigens. Of course lah. Okay, we have antibodies and antigens for this active immunity and artificial passive immunity. Okay, so differences. Artificial active immunity acquired through vaccine injection. So artificial passive immunity through anti-serum injection. Okay, anti-serum vaccine. Okay, injected substance vaccine is a suspension of pathogens that are weakened, dead, or non-virulent. So vaccine, what is vaccine? So anti-serum is serum that contains specific antibodies. Okay, that contains antibodies only. Okay, this one contains pathogens. Okay, that are weakened. Okay, purpose for prevention. Okay, for prevention, this one for treatment or immediate protection is required. Prevention means this one for the vaccine, for the artificial active, we want to prevent ourselves from the disease. It can be injected before we get the disease, right? But this one is for treatment. When you get the disease, you have to treat it lah with this anti-serum. For example, such as rabies, right? So when you've been bitten by the dog, so you have to take the serum. If not, you don't have, right? So the effect does not give immediate protection. So does not give immediate protection. So it will take times to build. So this one give immediate protection. You can recover faster. Okay, in this case. So immunity period for this artificial active lasts for a long period of time. So this one for artificial passive is temporary and does not persist. Temporary only. Okay. Okay, does not persist means does not stay long lah. Okay, for the period of time. So when injection is given, vaccine injection is administered before being infected. You still remember for the COVID-19? So although we don't get the COVID-19 disease, so we still have to take the vaccine. Okay, before being infected. So this one antibody injection is given in advance if there is a high risk of infection or immediately after being infected by a disease. So this one given in advance, maybe when the doctor check, oh, this person have a high chance to get the disease. So the doctor will give the anti-serum injection to that person. Okay, high risk only. Okay, or immediately after being infected, or after being infected, you will get the anti-serum. For example, such as poisonous snake, right? To be bitten by poisonous snake. So when you go to hospital, doctor will give anti-serum immediately so that you can recover. So this is the difference between the when injection is given for this artificial active and artificial passive. So antibody, what about the antibody? Antibodies are produced by the lymphocyte for the artificial active immunity. Antibodies are produced by the lymphocyte. Okay, this one antibodies are obtained from anti-serums. Means the antibodies are not produced by the lymphocyte lah. You have to obtain from the anti-serum from the external source. Okay, the need to give a second injection or booster dose, so must be given to boost the level of antibodies above the level of immunity as the protection against the disease. So must be given to boost. So that's why, for example, first injection. Okay, during maybe at 1 year here, you have first injection, so the antibody level will be quite higher, then become low back. Okay, so in the 4 years, okay, second injection, you have to take the second injection in the 4 years. So then the level will be increased, okay, until the concentration of antibodies that is sufficient to fight the disease. So the antibody levels refers to the concentration of antibodies that is sufficient to fight the disease. So now in this level, we have sufficient antibody to fight the disease. So usually lasts longer until 8 years and maybe 10 years and so on. So this one for the artificial active immunity vaccine injection. That's why we have to take the second dose. Okay, or the booster dose to make sure that we can receive the level of immunity. So concentration of antibodies that is sufficient to fight the disease. So this one, this graph you must remember. You must remember. So when you see this graph, you know that this is artificial active immunity vaccine injection. Okay. So for the artificial passive immunity anti-serum is only given when the antibody level in the blood drops below the level of immunity and the patient is still infected by the disease. So this one, first injection. So usually first injection, okay, the level of immunity, the antibody level higher, and then it will drop. Okay, and in the 4 years later, so we have the second injection, so the level of immunity also will increase, then it will drop. Okay, so at the 8 years, 10 years, it will drop. So if you want to make it higher, you have to take um, another injection lah. For example, okay. So given when the antibody level is in the blood drops below the level of immunity. Okay, and then the patient is still infected. So if the patient is still infected, if not infected, you don't have to take another injection. Okay, this one. Okay, so they usually not last longer lah. It will continue to drop, and then if you want to get protection, you have to take another injection like that. Okay, so this for the anti serum. So this graph you must remember, you must know lah. When you see this graph, you know this is artificial active immunity. For this one is for artificial passive immunity.